All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about Lords of the Fallen again. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is because the developer, the main one over there, the director, has been on X talking about different DEI-oriented things. You know, he's talking about attractive characters. He's making polls for it. He's talking about options for A and B or male and female and making polls about it. He's been doing this all throughout since this whole nonsense has exploded, and just recently has finally updated the game and removed body type A and B and replaced it with male and female, and people are celebrating this as a victory. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit hesitant here. Now, I'm sure you guys are looking at this and thinking, wow, this is honestly a victory, right? A developer going back on what they originally did. This is what we need. This is more of what needs to happen. We need A and B to get out of here. We need male and female to return. I totally get that, and I'm fine with that. But I just can't help but feel this one is a little bit performative. As much as I don't want it to be, ultimately, at the end of the day, I just can't shake that feeling. So let's get into this article, guys, from Game Rant. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, there was an update over on the official Lords of the Fallen account, and it said version 1.7.73 is now live across all platforms with further updates in response to ongoing player feedback. Currently 67% off on Steam. Improved online connectivity, male and female body option, and umbral audio settings. Now, obviously, everybody is talking about mainly the male and female body option, and here's why I feel like a lot of this is performative and I just can't shake it, or at the very least, it's really good business, right? And let's just listen to me. So we have this developer who decides to say, okay, let me start making some very interesting, very divisive polls on X, which is fine. You have every right to do that. He starts making all of these polls on X, and they start getting a lot of traction. He starts asking a bunch of DEI-oriented questions that he knows that real gamers are going to vote against the DEI stuff. And then once he gets his final poll, and he says, okay, I'm going to take this information, and I'm going to apply that to the video game, and we're going to make some changes. Boom. Then he makes a change, and then after he makes the change, he puts the game for sale 67% off on Steam and tells gamers, congratulations, you won, go buy the game. You know what I mean? It seems a little bit performative to me at the end of the day. Even though the message is still good, it seems like this is obviously being used to drive sales, and it's pretty good business. I got to be honest with you. That's what I genuinely feel when I'm looking at this. Now, it's not to say that it's wrong. It's not to say that what he's doing is fake or anything like that. I just feel like he's just a little bit too performative for me. Now, overall, them changing it to male and female, I didn't get an answer to my question. I had asked him a question over on X, and we'll get into this article in a second, but I asked him a question over on X, and I said, okay, so I have one simple question. Why did you have body type A and B to begin with in your video game when gamers clearly have been speaking out against this for way longer than recently? And it seems like you only now just discovered it. So were you just out of the loop at that point? Did you not know your fan base at that point? Or did you choose to do it because of other reasons that maybe have to do with investors, maybe have to do with requirements of some kind? What was the reason that you did it, and now you're changing back? Then now that you feel like the pendulum has swung the other way, now you feel like it's safe to go back to male and female because you clearly chose A and B before, right? Even Elden Ring does A and B, but we all know why the Japanese do it. So why did you do it, right? And we never got an answer. Of course, he's never going to answer me, and I get that. I wish it's a genuine question. I really wanted an answer from that because that's why I feel like it's performative. This game had an A and B option before. It's very clear that they were fine with it. So why did you suddenly go to now male and female now that the pendulum has swung the other way and people are saying, hey, we don't want that shit? Because people have been saying we don't want that for years. It's not recent. It's not now. People are saying for the longest time we don't want that. So were you just not listening? Were you not caring? I don't really know. But let's get into this article that breaks it down a little bit. So Hexworks has released a brand new January update for the game, flaunting an Unreal Engine 5 build as a successor to the 2014 game of the same name, adopting Souls-like elements in third-person action. The game recruits lamp bearers to navigate the land of Mordstead and cleanse magic beacons to prevent prevent the Dark God Adir's return. Lord of the Fallen's last update deployed in December, implementing more adjustments to the dash and roll system and improving the blood animation shown in Pieta's post-defeat cutscene. Despite the update being smaller in scale, similar to the current January patch, the fixes managed to target specific issues experienced by players, including the chance to explore more instead and interact with the vestiges and Umbral exit points with enemies nearby. Posted on the game's social media accounts, Hexworks informed Lords of the Fallen players of the new live update, noting that changes were in response to its ongoing player feedback. One of the main takeaways focused on improvements to online connectivity, which enhanced the game's overall smoothness by reducing rubber banding and lag so players can defeat Lords of the Fallen's hardest bosses more seamlessly. Players can now choose between male and female body types when using the character creator, and the exploration of Umbral was enhanced by including a new audio option to adjust the realm's ambience. I love how Game Rant, they had to report on it, right? They couldn't just completely ignore it, but they just said it very quickly and then moved on. They explained everything else in detail, but they're like, yeah, you could choose between male and female now. Anyway, you know, it's like, what the, come on, bro. Why are we doing this? Anyway, so yeah, the game has gotten a lot of good fixes. And listen, guys, it's not like I'm hating on this dev. I like what they're doing. I want to be very clear. I like what they're doing. I just don't want it to be so performative. You know what I mean? Don't make your game go on sale immediately after this poll. And I get it. You're driving sales and everything like that. I understand. But it just seems very performative. But at the end of the day, listen, I'll take it as a small win. We all will take it as a small win, but do not get it twisted. A lot of developers, what they're going to start doing is they're going to start using anti-DEI as a method of advertising for their video game to try to get you to buy their game, because they know that the conversation right now is very politically divisive, obviously, or just divisive in general, even without politics. They know that. So they're being informed by their marketing teams that this is how we should go about it now. These people don't believe in anything, okay? They are only going to flip-flop to whatever is going to get them sales. So you got to be very careful and support those who are being genuine versus those who are just kind of flip-flopping because right now it's safe to do so. That's kind of the reason why I wanted the answer to that question that I had about why they did A and B. If gamers have been talking against A and B for the longest time, why did you do it before? And only now are you deciding to change it? It just makes it seem all very fake and performative, even though their intentions may be good, and I overall think they are. I just think that's what it is. You know what I mean? And like I said, I always advocate for transparency, which is why I want that level of questioning answered, but they're never going to do it, and I get why they won't. But hopefully throughout time, we're going to get more transparency in gaming. Keep in mind, I've played Lords of the Fallen, both of them. I think they're great games, and yes, I do recommend them. I always looked at the A and B with Lords of the Fallen as the same as Elden Ring, where the game is for the most part DEI free, with the exception of that absolute nonsense that they feel like they're forced to do in order to get their game released in the West. But the Japanese, that's why they do it. I don't know why this guy does it, so I would love to know his reasoning, but I'm sure we're never going to find out. So anyway, Lords of the Fallen is 67% off on Steam. If you do want to go pick it up, you can decide for yourself whether or not it's worthy of your purchase. And I do think overall what's happening here is a good thing, and I would like to see more of this happen, even if it means that some people have to reverse it in the most hypocritical way. I would still like to see it happen. That way, new games coming out don't have it to begin with. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.